That's where you're going to go. Why would you set up shop in a place like, I'm going to pick on California for a second. Their tax system is like, I'm not going to go there, but I could.
You just went there, but it's okay.
I will go there.
Moving on.
Anyway, if you own a corporation.
What's going on, Cashflow Hackers? It's Chris and Mike with Life 180, and we are here today to talk to you about something it was funny. I was actually on LinkedIn today, and Mike and I got a chuckle out of it because I'm scrolling through LinkedIn, and as I'm scrolling through LinkedIn, I see this PDF from this firm. This is it a commercial real estate firm?
It's a very prestigious commercial real estate company. Are we allowed to mention their name?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, they're going to see it on the PDF.
It's Cushman and Wakefield, which they're not. It's not like Joe's Real Estate and Barbershop.
Yeah,
they're very reliable, reputable firm.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny because I'm scrolling through my LinkedIn, profile and the feed, and I see this PDF download about why Atlanta is going to be the place to be over the next decade, right? And they go on about all these corporations that are either relocating there or doing other stuff there. So what I want to do, like what made me laugh, I guess, I'll say this, what made me laugh is the fact that when I saw this, the first thing that hopped into my mind was this guy right here, because when I first met him in 2014, literally that was what he was talking to me about. He's like, Atlanta's the place to be, like get ahead of this.
I was actually talking about that before.
I know, but I'm just saying that I knew you.
You came late on the scene.
I know, I'm slow. I still
like him.
So it was super funny because like I see this. This is the PDF that I saw. It's from Cushman and Wakefield, as you can see, and you can see all the list of companies that are relocating. What are they? They're either relocating their headquarters, a regional headquarters or hub, or they're creating a technology hub there. Microsoft, Zillow, Autodesk, Airbnb, Toyota Financial Services, Minute Maid, Chicken Salad? What the hell is that?
That's actually a restaurant.
Okay.
And I'm vegan, so I'm not going to talk about that.
But
Chick-fil-A.
Papa John's, one of my best friends, used to be the head of West Coast operations for Papa John's. He passed away. That's sad. That makes me sad. But yeah, all these companies. And so, Mike, you've been talking about this for a decade, so I'm just going to let you like kind of go on a rant right now about what the deal is with Atlanta.
So the thing is, if you own a corporation, you obviously want to keep as much money as you can. And so any time you have the ability to reduce your taxable income, that's where you're going to go. Why would you set up shop in a place like, I'm going to pick on California for a second. Their tax system is like, I'm not going to go there, but I could.
You just went there, but it's okay.
I will go there.
Moving on.
Anyway, if you own a corporation, you're gonna set up shop where people treat you well, and so the state of Georgia is very business friendly, and they give all kinds of tax incentives for businesses to set up there and move there, and so Atlanta itself is the head office for Delta Airlines and Georgia Pacific Paper and CNN, Turner Broadcasting is there, Home Depot. The list goes on and on. And now you have Coca-Cola, which is massive. And now you've got Microsoft. They're making that one of their hubs. That's bringing 9,000 jobs in the short term. Zillow, like all these, Airbnb, like all these massive companies. Because right now everybody's like just sick of the tax system in a lot of the United States, and they're going where they're treated better, and it makes sense. So if you're a real estate investor, you've got to go on the path of progress. You got to get there before other people figure this out. I've been talking about this for 10 years because I've been there for 10 years.
And you've enjoyed that handsomely.
It has been very, very lucrative and fun and amazing. But if you want to get appreciation, you go where the jobs are. And where are the jobs? Where the companies get to keep more money. Where do they pay less taxes? That's where they're going to go. And so it's really common sense in a lot of ways, but as one of my friends says,
common sense is rarely common practice.
It's not common practice. And so, but if you go where the jobs are, that's where the appreciation is. That's where the population will move to get jobs now more than ever in the COVID era where so many businesses shut down in the past year and a half. And it's just a no-brainer.
Okay, so let's talk about, we talk a lot about cash flow hacking, right? And the idea of stop thinking about retirement, start thinking about financial freedom. And the only way you're really going to be free is to think about your money in terms of cash flow, right? And from that perspective, how can people look at Atlanta, the growth, the opportunity? I know a lot of people are scared right now about kind of the environment we're in, and they're hesitant to get involved in real estate because they're kind of trying to wait it out. And I know you always, I don't know who you attribute it to, but don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait, right? Like, but so tell me why that's true right now in general, but specifically Atlanta.
Well, here's what's happening in Atlanta. So both, I am so happy for my clients that bought just before COVID started some of my turnkey properties, because they're up like probably 30 to 40% in a year and a little bit. So good for them. But even if you get it now, so people say, oh, well, maybe I should wait. Well, you've been saying you should wait for all these years, and you're going to keep waiting forever, and you're never going to get any cash flow or that appreciation. But even more importantly, when there's jobs being created and you're in the middle of a pandemic like we are now, people are going to continue to move there. The prices are going to continue to go up. But even when the prices level off, well, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have still people moving there from other places looking for jobs. And when they get there, they're not going to be able to qualify for mortgage. They're not going to be able to buy something. So they're going to go into rentals. And so if you are the owner of rental properties, not only are you going to get cash flow, but even if the cash flow looks only marginal right now because you kind of missed the boat a little bit, well, guess what? Rent is going to continue to go up. Even after the home prices stabilize, rent will continue to go up. People will continue to move there, looking for employment, looking for a lower cost of living. And so the stuff that maybe gives you a marginal amount of cash flow now, that's going to continue to go up. But more importantly, though, and cash flow is extremely important. But how I created my wealth is by having the properties that I bought just continue to appreciate. And the cash flow allows you to sustain that investment while you're waiting for that.
So talk to me about, like, let's say the worst case scenario happens. If you were to buy a property, and obviously nobody's got a crystal ball, nobody knows when the bottom's going to fall out. Like, I'm of the belief now, with all the research that I've done, that we have more concern about inflation getting out of control than the market having the floor pulled out from under it. You know what I mean?
Inflation's actually good for us as real estate investors.
It is.
That's a whole other conversation.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. So you have two, let's say you're thinking about if you want to get involved in real estate, and right now, and let's say you have money sitting on the sidelines, and in your mind you're like, do I do it now or do I wait? And you have this fork in the road of make now or wait. And it's like, okay, real estate can go, or the economy can go two ways. It can crash, or it can, keep going and keep inflating. So from a real estate perspective, you have to think about what that looks like. From an inflation perspective, if it keeps going, it's going to be inflation, by the way. That's the only way this thing keeps going. Right. And so, like, if that happens, real estate is absolutely the best asset on the face of the earth.
Well, I mean, guess what's tied to inflation probably more than anything? Yeah. The price of real estate, rents.
Yep.
If everything's going up, if the cost of living is going up, so is rent.
Yep.
And so that's exactly why you want to get in early. You want to get in now and be able to increase your rents. And that's, by the way, one of the things that I do in every rental contract that we sign. There's a increase in the rent every year.
Love it.
But real estate's one of the best hedges against inflation. It's one of the best. There's so many people right now afraid of the U.S. dollar. They're afraid of there's so many things that are so scary right now.
People are scared.
The one thing I know is 5 years from now, no matter what happens with COVID, no matter what happens with the dollar, no matter what happens with the economy, people are still going to be living in homes, and either they're going to buy them, in which case I want to be the person selling to them, or they're going to be renting, in which case I want to be the guy renting to them. And I've been doing this for 32 years. There's not been one day that I woke up and said, man, I wish I could have my 9-to-5 job back, because real estate is, real estate's amazing.
Yep.
But the one of the things that I think I've done right over the years is I didn't try to time the market. Instead, I said, hey, this investment makes sense. I could buy it now at this price, get this much rent. That's only going to get better over time. But right now, I'm happy with that, and I can ride it out, because guess what? That rent's going to cover all my expenses. And no matter what I win, if the market takes off, I'll sell the property, take that equity, and purchase more properties. If rent keeps going up, but the market were to drop, which I think what we're going to see now is we're going to see things very localized. It won't be like 2008, where pretty much it was universal. Everything kind of crashed. It's going to be very regional, whereas we're going to see markets that are overinflated, where taxes are high, where there's no jobs. Places like New York. Imagine you woke up and you live in Midtown Manhattan, and you're paying $5,000 a month rent for your 1-bedroom apartment. Well, when you had a job that was maybe barely sustainable, for most people, that's not sustainable right now if you lost your job.
Yeah.
And so these people, where are they going to go? They're going to go where there's jobs and where the cost of living is lower. And we're already seeing that trend happening.
And warmer.
And warmer, yes, absolutely. So you've got to go where the trends are. And even before COVID, even if we take COVID to 100% of the equation, well, then we have all these baby boomers retiring.
Yep.
And I don't know too many people that are waking up in the South and saying, we should move to Detroit, honey, or Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're not doing it. So it's just not happening.
Why is that? No,
so be in the path of progress.
Absolutely. And so I want you to share a story before we finish this off, because it speaks to the other point of the fact that it's not a matter, yes, you buy your properties and you're hoping for the appreciation, and if the economy keeps going, that's awesome. And if it falls off a cliff for a period of time, it's always going to bounce back. At least I believe so, right? You have a story from, you're like living proof, your own example, like proof in the pudding, so to speak, of the fact that during the Great Recession, the bubble in 08, 09, you were buying properties.
Those are great days.
6, 7, 8, 9. You were buying the whole time coming up to it. And then the bottom fell out. You lost a significant portion of your net worth, but you didn't give a crap.
Exactly. Actually, that was the best thing that ever happened. So I was, in those days, I was investing in Las Vegas. And that market was the most severely hit market in all the U.S.
Yeah.
And it dropped 80% from its peak to its lowest point was an 80%. So imagine you had a $300,000 home that was now worth like 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah.
Like that's what it was happening.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were terrified to invest in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so back in those days, and I wasn't, I was holding some properties, I was flipping some properties.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that the properties that I was holding during this time, the prices went down dramatically. But what happened with my rent is that all these other people were losing their homes, and they had to, they had no choice but to go into rentals.
Yeah.
And so not only did I have a better pick of renters, I was raising my rents. And so my cash flow went up, my net worth went down, but who cares what your net worth is? I can't go to a restaurant and say, hey, my net worth is $8 million. I want a free meal. It's not going to happen. You got to give them cash.
Yeah.
So you got to have cash flow. So my cash flow was going up. And not only that, not only was my cash flow going up, but the prices were 80% off what they were like a couple of years earlier. And so what did I do? I was going and purchasing properties for pennies on the dollar, knowing that real estate's cyclical, knowing it's going to come back. And that's where I created a significant amount of my net worth, was during those days when other people were losing their shirt because they didn't have a plan. They didn't know what they were doing. We saw a lot of speculators in those days that were buying before the recession kicked in. It's like, the market's been going up steadily every year, every month. So if we just buy now and we sell in 2 months from now, we'll make 20 grand.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great strategy if you're at a craps table and you're willing to risk and lose that money. But if you want to actually have a legitimate strategy, you've got to have a plan B, not just, I hope the market keeps going up.
Yeah.
And so all my rental properties just kicked butt. And not only that, the cost of living went down. Like I was actually living in Vegas during that time. And I used to get stuff like in the mail from Cirque du Soleil, like half off for shows, and all the fancy restaurants were offering discounts. So not only was I making more money than ever, but that money was going further than ever. And
that's awesome.
Those were great times.
That's amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, it's this, the whole cash flow thing. When stuff like that happens, it's an opportunity because your cash flow is going further. You can then take that cash flow. You're going to the auctions. You're being able to buy these assets that everybody else is scared. Everybody else is trying to avoid it because they don't know what to do. You're able to gobble up assets at that point in time, but it's only because of the cash flow that you had that you were able to do that, right? Like because
Well, I mean, smart people didn't lose all their money because they weren't speculating. And so if you had money and you didn't have the fear, like so many people have fear because if you read the media, if you watch the media, like all day long, they're talking about, the sky is falling. And so a lot of people don't have the guts, I guess, to go and jump into the market during those times, nor the know-how. Most people don't know how to do it. Even if they had the guts to do it, they wouldn't have the know-how. And so part of the challenge is that, if you're doing what everybody else is doing and you're watching the media and there's all that hype. I remember back, just before the recession when things were booming, I remember the newspaper in my hometown had an article, front page, and the big headline took up most of the page. Homes going up $1,000 per day. And basically saying, the article said, if you don't buy now, you're never going to be able to afford real estate. And of course, to me, as soon as I see a headline like that, that means it's the beginning of the end.
Crap.
People that don't know what they're doing jump into the market, they start speculating, they're going to drive that market up.
Totally.
And then it's going to come crashing down. It's going to get too inflated. And I just was waiting. That's awesome. I knew what happened. I knew what would happen, and it did.
So, guys, this is amazing. If you are interested in real estate, I hope you have watched this and you go back and watch it again, because you really need to internalize exactly everything he's talking about right now. I've known Mike for 8 years. We've been talking about this stuff. He is one of the inspirations, by the way, that got me to come up with this whole idea of cash flow hacking, right? Like the utilizing a savings vehicle like whole life insurance to get ready to invest for cash flow, saving to invest, investing in turnkey real estates. I've been working with him for 8 years. He's an amazing guy. He's a wealth of knowledge. Honestly, you're not going to meet anybody in the real estate industry that knows more about this stuff than
I didn't even have to pay you to say that.
I know, man. And so I'm blessed and feeling really grateful that we're partnering up on this cash flow hacking thing. And if you are interested in real estate investing at all, figuring out how this fits into your life, how you can get started, maybe trying to just decide what direction you want to go, when's the right time for you, looking at your overall assets and kind of figuring out what to do with them to go in a certain direction, reach out to us. We're happy to help you, happy to have a conversation. You can see a link below in the description. Just get on the phone, talk to one of the cash flow hacking consultants. They will work you through everything. And if you're interested in a property, we can get you on the phone with this guy personally and kind of go from there. But if you found value in this video, please smash that like button, because YouTube loves it. We've got to get this out to more people, because I think right now in the economy that we're in the world that we're in, people need to know this information. The idea of buying and holding stocks and mutual funds and putting your money in 401ks and qualified plans for the next 30 years is going to make this country broke, puts them in business with the government. I don't know about you, but the government's $30 trillion in debt. I don't want to be in business with a partner that's $30 trillion in debt that has the ability to take my money from me if they screw up. And that's exactly what a qualified plan is all about. So this is a solution to a problem, and that's why we're doing this. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, click the bell, that way you get notified every single time we launch a new video. I'm going to be doing a lot more content with Mike. I've got some other people coming on the channel. It's going to be amazing. We're just bringing a ton of value, a lot of partnerships, coming to the table, everything, focused around the concept of cash flow. So I guess that's it for now. So I hope to see you on the next video. Have a blessed, inspirational day, and we will see you then.
Take care.